did was we already put the shifter on, as I said, to see, make sure we did this in the air conditioned shop, so it wouldn't be rusty with any mods. We're going to pull the shifter off now, and then we're going to put the transmission in the car and then put the shifter back on. So we align the shifter on the bench and worked at any little kinks, put some new linkage arms, some new grommets, some of the steel grommets that I sell on here. I sell these hard steel grommets for them. Put some new springs, so we really tighten up these rods. Notice they don't really have any movement where they're moving up and down. They're pretty well firm. So we're going to be doing that right now. We built this box to be compatible with the Super T10, so it has the rectangular slots that are for the studs, but the new auto gear shifter shafts have the same key for the stud type, but we use grade 8 5/16 fine thread bolts for them instead. This way you're not dealing with studs protruding and getting mangled, and leave that in there because you got that bar there. So I think what we'll be able to do, we're going to try it anyway. We should be able to take this thing and just leave the mount on there. We'll try that first. That's what we got going on. Get it here. Turn it. Let's see. Turn it this way. There we go.
It's catching the mount, the rear mount. Maybe over towards you a little more, might be hitting the ashtray.
It's that mount plate.
I'll hold you up.
Yeah, it's what it is. Well, you can't put it on with the mount plate. You gotta take it off of there. I tried to do it quick, but this mount plate really is too tight in the floor. We don't want to mess up the floor. It's a really nice car. Use those surgical gloves like you see those guys wear. I hate those things.
Your hands sweat on it.
It's like all these books now, you know. I got that book on the editor. Asked me to look at the one on building Chevys, big block Chevys.
The boxes right in there?
Yeah. The guys all got these fancy blue mechanics gloves so they look like doctors, you know. And they're building the engine on a perfectly white floor.
It's like this one?
Yeah, it's like this. I just find it's a short ball. It's funny. It's kind of neat, actually worked out pretty good because we can support the tree there. Yeah. Right. Now we got to do is kind of stand it straight up. Is that ready? Yep. Okay, it's in. There you go. Bolts are right there. Cut all the bolts first. I make sure it's all the way flat against the housing so when I'm pulling the unit in by the bolts. We'll have some more pictures up on the website, which is www.5speeds.com. That's number 5, speeds.com. All you gearheads out there, should we like throw tools around like the other guys do on TV?
Not really.
You know. And like we can like polka dot your shed, or like these guys do, like on some of these other shows, they just stop and they'll build like a dollhouse or something that totally has nothing to do with the show. And you're like, what am I watching this for? Why am I watching this show? I got the mount in and Sal hooked up the speedo cable. Now we're gonna get the shifter in.
That's what they don't turn.
They're already turned. We're going to stuff the shifter up here. We're going to catch the bolts. This should be okay because it's not going to turn much. Okay, we put all the linkage in, and now we're just starting to tighten the linkage arms, make sure it's still held its alignment. The DAP bracket is putting a little bit of a side load on here, but it should be okay. While I'm doing this, Sal's putting the drive shaft back in the car. Okay, so I'm trying to show you how tight these bolts were on the shift linkage way up here. Very close. So we kept the rods attached to the shifter and basically then bolted them all to the transmission. Notice the nuts, the bolts again, he's replaced the stud tops with the nuts, but they're totally compatible. So everything looks good, everything's in the car. I'm going to put the cross member in. While I was doing that, Sal put the drive shaft back with his new fancy aircraft nuts, and we'll be ready to go shortly. 10mm bolt, by the way. I'm 10mm nut. So the mounts are slightly offset over here. Again, this was on the car when Sal got it, and I don't know why they use it, but it seems to work fine. You have a lock washer for the 10mm. You can see how the cross member fits in now with the offset mount. Again, these mounts are typically from 86 Chevys. Part number is M0117. That's the generic anchor number. So I got this gear lube from G-Force. They call it Synergen. It's some synthetic gear lube that they use in NASCAR. So we're going to try this out in this box. We can use synthetics on this transmission because the situation is that we have a sealed front system and a filtered vent system in here. So we're able to use it. This has the zero leak plugs that are O-ringed on it as well. So it's a little bit different situation here. It looks like it's a little kink, this line here. So the transmission's all in, right? And you say it's like the shift's coming out in the right location as the other one did? Perfect. Looks perfect. So what's that? Basically the ashtray surround that goes in there then? And boot goes down on there. And that little gadget, and that's it. Of course the reverse lockout is just for show. These are one of those aftermarket sticks that look like the 62 stick, but they bolt up to the Hurst shifter. So we got a 308 rear in this car with a 298 first gear Muncie Z-Spec transmission now. And pretty soon we'll see how it works.